When the Chinese police first came to my home in Tibet, I had 3 sons and I was pregnant with my 4th child. It is Chinese policy that if a woman has 2 children, she must be sterilized. The police who came to my home wanted me to abort my baby. I pleaded with them to let me have it, and they finally relented. They told me that after my child was born, I must be sterilized. So my 4th child was born, and when he was 8 months old, the police returned and took me to a place where I was sterilized along with 8 other young village women. It was the saddest day of my life. Even now, I have bad dreams about it.
When I was 6-year-old, I fled Tibet with my 8-year-old sister. On the journey over the Himalayas, most of our group were captured early on and taken away by the Chinese police. A monk in his 60s became our guide. At some point, there were no trees on the steep mountainside we were going down. The stones were very slippery and we had nothing to hold on to. The monk told my sister and me to wait while he went ahead to find a safe route. We waited and finally proceeded ahead on our own. We found the monk dead in a canyon below, his fingers still clutching a handful of grass. My sister and I cried for a long time and then covered his body with rocks. I told my sister to wait with the dead body and I would go to find help. Soon, I lost direction. I found a cave inhabited by vultures and stayed there for many days. Each day, I called out my sister's name, but there was no reply. Finally, a carpenter nearby heard my cries and rescued me. He turned me over to the police, and they sent me back to Tibet. They never found my sister, but luckily she had been rescued by some monks and taken the rest of the way to India. 6 years later, when I fled again and made it to India, we were reunited.
Mother, when I came to India, I brought a photograph of you with me. I put it under my pillow so I can see you before I fall asleep at night. I cannot sleep if I do not see this picture of you. And sometimes I cry silently in my pillow as I gaze up in your lovely face.
My dear parents, sometimes I want to become a bird and fly to you. Sometimes I meet you at the night in my dream as I come to visit the joy that is no more. I think about you every day. I was such a small child when I left for India to receive an education. I miss you so much.
Our night dreams are always the same. They're vivid and real. There is our mother cooking, our brothers and sisters are playing, and our house is once again filled with conversation and laughter. We speak with our father, and he advises us in matters important to us as young boys. Our mother embraces us with love and affection. It is as if nothing has happened. And then we suddenly wake up in the night. We awake to the emptiness of living a life of exile. We wake to insecurity and loneliness that has no reprieve. We awake to the fear that we will never see our parents again.
My name is Ani Pachan. I commanded a rebel army in Tibet for several years. I was incarcerated and tortured by the Chinese army for 24 years.
I am Pelden Gyatso. I spent 33 years of my life in Chinese prisons and labor camps.
When I was 13, I participated in a mass demonstration to free Tibet. I saw many Tibetans killed. When I turned 16, friends and I commemorated those who had died by unfurling the Tibetan national flag on the roof of a monastery. The flag flew for 2 hours. It was a glorious moment. Then the police came to take it down. One of my friends was arrested and sent to prison, where he was badly tortured and finally, under force, revealed my name. On the very day I was to graduate from high school, the police came and arrested me. They took me to one of the worst of all Chinese prisons and tortured me. They told me if I revealed my friends' names, I would be released from prison. But I refused. When I was finally released, I immediately began doing secret political jobs and increased my efforts to help my country. The Chinese placed my home under surveillance. Friends warned me of the imminent rearrest. Without telling anyone, I fled in the middle of the night and began my escape to India. The next day, the police came to my house to arrest me, but it was too late.
My name is Ama Ade, and I'm 65 years old. I spent 28 years of my life in 8 different Chinese prisons. When I was first imprisoned, I tore a strip of cloth from my chuba and tied 108 knots in it to use as prayer beads. The Chinese guards noticed this knotted cloth and beat me. Then I began to say my prayers out loud in my cell. The guards secretly waited outside, and whenever they heard the sounds of my prayers, they would beat me again and place duct tape over my mouth. And so I learned to whisper my prayers. I am known as Magic Momo because of my gift to read the future from my prayer beads. You see me standing here with my grandson. I feel guilty when people ask me to read the future because my vision is bad and it is difficult for me to count the beads. But I feel compassion for them, so I try as best I can. The doctor tells me I need an operation for my eyes, but when I ask my beads, they say I should not get such an operation. So I put tape over my eyes to keep the skin from falling down over them. My beads used to be quite a bit larger, but years of use have worn them away. In the summer, when the days are long, I repeat 30,000 mantras. In the winter, when the days are short, I'm only able to do 11,000.
I decided to leave Tibet with my 3-year-old son because the education in my homeland is inadequate. The Chinese brainwash children in that they teach nothing about our Tibetan heritage.
When I was 18 years old, I entered the monastery to become a monk. One day, I accidentally noticed the book My Land and My People by His Holiness the Dalai Lama in the drawer of a fellow monk. My friend had received the book from a Westerner, but he would not let me read it for fear of being detected. One night, I finally persuaded him to release the book to me for just a few hours. I bought 12 candles, locked the door to my room, and covered the window. I stayed up all night reading the book. I wept as I came to know about the tragic fate of my country and my people. I realized that the Chinese had kept us from many truths. This one night changed my life forever as I recognized the value of freedom and felt the true meaning of the word independence. From that day on, I vowed to work for the freedom of Tibet and, if necessary, to sacrifice my life for the freedom of my country.